Welcome to the Intuitive Teacup, my friends. These tarot readings are meant to motivate, empower, and inspire you. Please keep an open heart and an open mind as you watch these general readings, as some material will resonate and some might not. Do have faith it is serving someone out there, and take away only what resonates for you. Please release the rest. Feel free to book a personal reading with me if you would like something catered specifically to your inquiries and energy. That information is down below for you. You are responsible for all actions and decisions and the vibe that you bring to this channel. This is optional advice or guidance, and of course, you will always have free will. Check the box below for my social media links, the decks I use, and more information on this channel. Let's hop into your tarot reading. All right, Cancer, what's up? Happy February, happy early Valentine's Day. We are going to celebrate love and romance in your tarot spread. So I have a few prompts we're going to walk through. How can I love myself more? What are you contributing positively to partnerships in your life right now? Where can you improve? Where is some area of focus? And the most exciting one, who or what is coming into your life? It doesn't have to be new. It could be. We'll see what comes up in the cards. So let's start here. How can Cancer improve loving themselves more? It says pay attention to the red flags. The signs are cautioning you. So this is very perfect, I think, for Cancer, because you guys are so driven by your intuition. The issue I see here is that you don't always listen to it. So don't shoot the messenger, right? I always say this with love and compassion. When you feel that feeling that something isn't right and you kind of want to go into that protective crab shell, for some of you, it's for good reason, right? Safety always comes first. But for a lot of you, it's like you have that anxiety or that reaction, but you're still trying to push through, and almost you're writing it off as like just being silly. Or I even think some of you may be being like, oh, well, I'm not going to be pessimistic. I'm not going to jump to conclusions. But the irony is that when Spirit is giving you obstacles or blockages or something of the sort where it's making you question the intentions of the other person, that's for a good reason. So how can you love yourself more? Pay attention to your needs and what you desire in a mate. And when those two don't coincide, instead of trying to force it to work, really take a step back and almost look at it as a gift from the universe that something isn't quite right, and so you're being asked to examine it more. Ultimately, this is sort of speaking to me about protecting your energy more, not giving your love away so freely to those who don't match your vibe, who you're just not in alignment with, right? It's not about being pessimistic. It's about doing what's best for you in your heart, not constantly giving your time and energy to other people. And I mean, I suppose, too, we could turn it around to where are you anticipating red flags that aren't really there? It's like you may even approach love because maybe people have broken your trust or boundaries in the past. You may look at things very skeptically or almost, what is the word for it? It's on the tip of my tongue. Calculating. It's almost like you're guilty until proven innocent is how you view relationships, and that in itself may be a red flag in you, is that you may have trust issues. So again, Spirit is just making you aware of that in terms of helping yourself in the process of finding good, authentic love, right? And for those who are already partnered up, right, this message still applies. And then so in that you have Two of Cups too. So how can you love yourself more? Loving yourself individually and not relying on the other person to make you feel good about yourself. I would even offer to you, Cancer, it's a red flag if you, whether again single, in a relationship, if you don't feel confident and comfortable standing on your own 2 feet, if you don't recognize the value you bring just to your life singularly, individually, there's a false perception there. I'm also hearing do more for yourself. Again, maybe needing to pull back all the attention and effort you give to someone if it's a blocked, or if you're not getting that in reciprocated to you. And there's such a message here, just keep passing it by. If it doesn't feel right, it feels like you're very in your head of, did I do something wrong? Why can't I make it work? It's like you're punishing yourself trying to solve pieces of a puzzle that just don't fit. And more or less, it's like that's a red flag, and it's not necessarily there for you to solve and fix and come to the bottom of it. I think a lot of you are looking down on yourself for not being able to fix a situation. But the thing is, I think if you were to tap deeper into that, you would realize more or less, like subconsciously even, you're trying to fix a person and you can't do that. You need to worry more about yourself and be more protective of your energy. I think a lot of my Cancers too need to forgive themselves for giving away love to people who are not deserving of it. Some of my Cancers, whether you're male or female, I think there's a relationship you look back on and you feel like you were just a sexual conquest, and you may have put this person on a pedestal or put a lot of effort into making that person feel comfortable and at ease when they didn't show you that respect in return. So again, that if you're at all in your head about that, you can practice better self-love by forgiving yourself for choosing people who are not in alignment with you at any point in time, but also utilizing that wisdom or those lessons really, and implementing them in the future to make way for a better one, right? To make sure that you're putting people through some sort of like, well, how do you feel about this? And are we on the same page? And I'm not saying you need to force it. I mean, there's something to be said for allowing things to unfold organically, but you need to be more consciously aware of what you give and what is being taken from you, because in the past, a lot of my Cancers have been too generous with people who just, whether they were bad or whatever, I don't necessarily believe people are wholly bad, but they just weren't at a point in their life where they were able to see and appreciate all that you gave to them. So let that one go. It has served you in a very difficult, humbling way, but you're going to yield better results in the future, having been through that sort of less than ideal relationship. So what do you positively contribute to relationships, Cancer? What do you have going for you? You have a genuine interest in getting to know people. For my Cancers out there, it doesn't feel superficial. And for those who are watching this video, the energy I'm getting is that you don't approach love in this way of it's just another notch on the belt. It's just another sexual conquest. It's not. You care deeply about people. So getting to know each other, as you reveal your innermost selves to each other, you bond. Cancer, you are able to be vulnerable. You are able to speak truthfully from the heart. And because you are a water sign, right, you are tapped into this well of deep emotions. That's a positive. So if you feel like romantic partners come from you because you are too deep or too emotional or too intense, know that that's a false perception on your part. That's spirit trying to navigate you in the right direction to find someone better. You should never have to hide who you really are. So something that you have going for you is your ability to talk about feelings and emotions. Now with that, Cancer, you may be attracting almost twin flame dynamics where you are constantly drawn to people who suffocate that, right? Who aren't able to fully express themselves emotionally and talk about the love and the wounds and the pain and the happiness and all the emotions of the whole gamut, right? You seem to be quite skilled in that arena, whether you realize it or not, or you could be. If it's not something you love to talk about, you certainly have the ability to. Don't take that on as a burden you're forcing other people to carry in relationships. If they can't get deep with you, they're not the one then. It wouldn't serve you long term. You need to find someone who's compatible. And what I was getting at with the twin flame relationship is a lot of times you may attract the exact opposite, thinking, oh, we're opposite pieces to the puzzle. They lack emotion. I have too much. So bam, this is great. That is not the case, Cancer. Let me just straighten you out right now. That's not going to work for you long term, because I think you're viewing your deep sense, your sensitivity as like almost like you're damaged. That's not the case. Yeah, it's like, don't mistake your emotional sensitivity for weakness. It's your superpower. That's what Spirit is saying here too. In fact, this is a skill that you are only going to build into the future. Now, there's a difference between having a lot of emotions and not knowing what to do with them versus having a lot of emotions and knowing how to work through them. So again, you're all going to be on different spectrums of this, but it's saying to me, you still have work to do in the arena of, I think it has to do with finding a mate who matches your emotional intelligence. But this is a skill you should only continue to build upon in the future. I am being called to say it is your superpower. If you constantly feel like you are being matched up or you pair up with people who they don't have the same emotional integrity, you're right. That's the red flag, and you need to pay attention to that, Cancer. That's going to be really important for you. The idea of false gifts is coming up too. you do, a lot of my cancers have just this kind of psychic ability to read people very well. And this is saying you may feel like people give you superficial gifts, flowers and gifts and jewelry and whatever. And at the heart of it, you're like, well, that's nice. I appreciate the gesture, but it's like you're not putting too much stock in those gifts, because what you want is that emotional connection, something more real and raw than just a diamond ring. What it's saying to me is, again, that's a positive. The fact that you're recognizing this, it's like you can't be bought. Your love can't be bought. Absolutely, Cancer, right? Don't think that, the gold watch is a substitute for real, authentic chemistry and romance. It's not. You know that. So again, red flags, don't try and be fooled by that. This put on of, oh, I'm going to buy you this, baby, and sugar and blah, blah, blah. Like, I can already feel my cancers hearing that and just like literally, it's like this gut-wrenching, no. It's not to say you don't enjoy material things, but that is not a solid foundation on which relationships can't be built. I just keep hearing, you can't buy me. Cancer, I like that. That's very strong. That's very empowered. So area of focus where you should maybe bring some more attention to, essentially like where can you grow? What are maybe you lacking or struggling with a little bit? Universe is here to guide you and help you. Healing family issues. So this says your love life benefits as you forgive. It does say specifically your parents. So I would challenge you to widen the umbrella. It doesn't have to be parents. It could be grandparents. It could be siblings. It's something to do in your family. Some of you are very conscious of what this is. If you've always had a head-butting relationship with a father or a mother or this and that, you know exactly what this is. Others of you, it's a little bit more, it's under a guise. It's more mysterious because it has to do with family ancestral healing, karmic healing, essentially, that through your bloodline, through the generations, all the women have been responsible for carrying the children and the men have gone out to work. Something about that, you may be the person who was chosen in the ancestry and the lineage to flip the switch or to flip the script, however you want to say it, to grow into the people you're supposed to become. And I do want to say break away from tradition. And just to be clear, there's nothing wrong with that dynamic. If your goal in life is to raise a family and be a stay-at-home mom or a stay-at-home dad, that's fine. But what this card is saying is there's something that has been a continuing theme in your lineage and it stops with you. And I will say it's something that is not positive. It's something where it's like, ooh, we're really leaning on that, but it's not for the best and highest good. Almost of like our tribe, of our ancestors. Is like, we got to progress this. Like, we're living in the dark ages. Like, this is the old-timey way of doing it. There's something about you, Cancer. You've been chosen as the one to change this in your family history. And that doesn't surprise me, right? You guys rule the fourth house. You are very connected to lineage and roots and your house and all that kind of stuff. There's something that stops with you. And I think a lot of you look at it as like a burden or a curse. It's not. It's not. You're the trailblazer, aren't you? It's uncharted territory for some of you. So it's going to be a little bit uncomfortable. There's going to be a need to find your footing. Most of you are already knee deep in this. You may not even realize that this is your story, but more or less, if you start thinking back to whatever it is, it doesn't have to be gender roles, but something of the sort in your family's lineage that does have to do with birth and creation and, carrying down the family name or whatever it is. There's something that's been going on and the ancestors or whoever your spirit guides are looking down like, it's not happening anymore. Cancer's going to stop it. What needs to be sacrificed? What needs to be let go of? And again, if the whole lineage spiritual element doesn't ring a bell for you, that's fine. It's saying, who do you quite literally need to have a conversation in with your family, if possible, right? Who do you need to forgive? Do you need to forgive yourself? Who do you need to set healthier boundaries with so that negativity or whatever it is doesn't trickle into your own romantic partnership? For some of you, it may have to do with a Pisces or someone who has very strong Pisces in their chart. For some of you, it has to do with always wanting to be the chasee, but not the chaser. And I don't mean that in a sexually aggressive way. I think that a lot of you may have grown up in a household where you were taught, oh, well, men flock to women or whatever, right? I hate to make it a gender thing, but that is kind of a message I'm getting. You may be the one where it's like your ancestors or whoever is nudging you like, the world isn't handed to you on a silver platter. If you want something, you have to go out and get it. You have to make your intentions known, because for some of you, this is going to make a lot of sense. The whole thing of, oh, well, I don't chase people. I let them come to me. If you're single and that's been your story for a long time, that's the problem. That's the area of growth, is you need to take more risks. You need to get out of your little crabby shell and take some empowered risks in a new direction. I see you hanging on to a comfortability or, again, a mindset of the past, but Spirit is saying we've outgrown this. We're, the Hanged Man to card 13, which is the Death card, bringing an ending to unhealthy relationships or toxic behavior that, again, there has been a family pattern. That's your area of focus. It's almost like you're building from the ground up. That's a really cool metaphor for my Cancers. So, you have free will. If this doesn't feel like your message, you don't have to take it. But I would challenge you to look at something in your bloodline that you're not necessarily happy with and you don't want to repeat the cycle. You may actually find that naively or subconsciously you've kind of been fitting into that mold as well, and you are busting free, Cancer. I really, really like that. That's a cool message. A lot of you are not a good self-advocate. You tend to, it's almost like because you want to remain a pacifist in the relationship, you take on a lot of burdens for your partner. And there's a message of you being held back because you're not being vocal enough about your needs or your wants and desires, especially sexually. It's almost like you are very the opposite of self-serving. I'm going to make you all blush, but especially like in the bedroom, there's something about, oh, well, they're satisfied. So, okay, like I filled my role, I did my job, and universe is saying, what about you? Like this is a 50-50 two-way street here. So like make sure your needs are being met, especially like sexually, Cancer. A lot of you tend to be like a martyr, or I don't know if that's the right word, but it's like you make sure your people are good. You make sure your family, your children, your house, your job, your boss, not sexually, of course, I hope not, I'm kidding. You make sure everyone is good, but Spirit is really saying, but what about you? Like, have you reached that point of elation or whatever? You know what I'm trying to say, Cancer. All right, let's move on. What or who is coming into your romantic life? Does it match your alignment? Let's see. Heart-to-heart conversations. Honestly discuss your feelings with each other. So I'll be honest, if this is romantic, and I am reading for romance primarily, this may not be someone brand new. It could be someone you started talking with or started texting with, or someone who maybe they've been a friend for a while and they start to open up about their feelings. I would also say that because family did come into this for you, it's very possible some of you are going to take that possibly scary step. Don't make it scary. Don't make it a monster. It's not. It's a thing, but it's not a monster. You may take that scary step and have that deep conversation to start that karmic healing, to start that ancestral healing, or however you want to say that. Yeah, a lot of you may have someone. Here's the thing. The female seems to be the one professing feelings. It's the male who's caught off guard. And if this is a same-sex partnership, that obviously won't apply, and it absolutely could be. I don't read for like it has to be male-female. I don't do that in my readings. But if you are in a male-female relationship, there seems to be a female coming forward to profess feelings. So whoever you are, yay, that's exciting. And then with that, there's a victory. There's the Six of Wands. It's something that has needed, it's long overdue to get some much needed TLC and love and care and attention. Tender love and care, right? TLC? Don't go chasing waterfalls. Oh, I'm such a nerd. I can't believe I said that. Let's see. So, especially if this is something new and you guys are just like feeling it out and getting to know this person, it's going to ascend in a manner that leads to physical touch if that hasn't been a thing yet. And for those who are single and don't have romantic prospects, then I'll be honest, it's not to say this won't be a romantic partner in the future. If you are single and without any partnership, this is saying, what are those deep, probably family issues? What are the deep heart-to-heart conversations you need to have with the people currently in your life? Because something about that could be a domino effect where you heal one thing, the universe sees you making progress, and so they bless you with a new person, right? When you put your best foot forward, Cancer, you get rewarded for it. Yeah, there's physical touch coming in, so. And again, if that's already your story, if you're with someone and you're just making it more deeper and cozier, you may have a very good conversation and you may have some really good sex after, right? The physical touch is very important here. And the thing is, for a lot of you, it's like, are your needs getting met as well? That's important. Male or female? Especially with your earth sign, your Libra. I'm pulling zodiac cards. We'll see who comes out. So who or what is coming into Libra's, I just called you Libra. So Libra's important here. Maybe you need to have a heart-to-heart conversation with your Libra. Whoever that is in your life. Maybe it's your best friend, right? In terms of zodiac signs, who may be coming into Cancer's life? Who will continue to be in Cancer's life? Let's see what zodiac signs want to come out. These don't shuffle well. Sorry, guys. Bear with me. Aries and Scorpio. A lot of Mars energy. That makes a lot of sense, though, because that could lead to a very pleasant sexual encounter, right? Those two zodiac signs are ruled by Mars, which is, the warrior planet of aggression and power, but also sexuality, right? So healthy sex life is important. Do not neglect that, Cancer. And again, if you're single and looking, something with Scorpio, Aries, or Libra may be coming into you sooner than later. What else do I need to tell you? Do we need to clarify anything? I think I'm going to wrap you up with 2 oracle cards and we'll call it a day. What is the most... Oh, I can't give you the whole deck. What is the most important message for Cancer here? What is the most important message? Oh, it flew off the table. That felt important. Oh, what does it say? Oh, I don't know if I know how to pronounce this. Mintaken, longing for home, belonging, the original light workers. So, again, longing for home, that has to do with like an ancestral karma or something in your lineage. And a lot of you, because you are water signs, I know this sounds a little hippy-dippy, there's something very valuable to you. And I say this to you all the time, Cancer, being in or around water, it helps tap into your psychic abilities, and it helps you find clarity on answers that you might just be struggling with, be it romantic or not. Would really encourage you guys to like take a soak in the bathtub or go sit by the ocean, or I don't care, it can be go ice fishing. It's still water. There's something very spiritually healing for you to be in that environment. A lot of you are going to connect with someone who's a light worker already, and it's like... Perfect. That's what I'm wanting to say, because most of my Cancers out there, my high vibing Cancers, more or less are a natural born light worker, whether you choose to pursue that gift or not. There's just something very empathetic and compassionate about the Cancerian way. You may end up meeting someone when you raise your vibration and really honor your spiritual growth on your current spiritual path. When you do the necessary healing work in this lifetime, universe, it feels like they're trying to align you with someone who is on the same page, who similarly, like almost like loves in a similar way. You guys bring light to one another's life, but you don't fall back on each other because of like complacency or laziness. Yeah, there's some beautiful message here. Like, you guys shine light on each other. There's like reciprocity there. That's what I get from that card. All right, last but not least, we're actually going to use these this time. Love oracles. So I'm going to zoom in so you guys can actually see the message attached to it, which I don't usually do. So we're going to wrap it up. Thanks for joining me, Cancer. Remember to like, share, subscribe. I'm going to leave you with words of wisdom from the Love Oracle. Who's coming out for Cancer? In this Cancer reading, who's coming out? Happy Valentine's Day, Cancer. Woo! What's that one? Jane Austen. All right. None of us want to be in calm waters all our lives. It is a truth universally acknowledged that a single man in possession of a good fortune must be in want of a wife. There are as many forms of love as there are moments in time.